All right, guys. Where the hell do I start with this one? This was a horrible game by the Raiders. But before we fully get into this, I want to let you guys know, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. Make sure to hit that like button. And I am definitely disappointed. There are so many things the Raiders could have done to win this game. And we did pretty much the exact opposite of what we should have done. First and foremost, if you just look at this game statistically and you look at some of what we did, for example, look at our third down efficiencies, right? We're 3 of 12 on third downs, fourth down 1 of 2, total plays, total yards. It wasn't a huge difference, right? Like, this game could have easily went our way, but there were a couple of key moments, and let's discuss that. First and foremost, obviously you guys know we got our asses kicked, right? 43-6. The key moment in this game was the very first drive the Raiders had the ball, and we went for it on fourth down, and we pitched it to the outside, and Josh Jacobs got stuffed. And right away on that play, I personally felt that we lost this game, at least from a momentum perspective. And we had a lot of different drives and parts of this game where momentum 100% shifted to the Falcons. Even as we kind of started picking some of the momentum up, something would just happen. 5 turnovers, man. You're not going to win games if you have 5 turnovers. More than just the turnovers. You look at these penalties, man. 11 penalties for 141 yards. You're not going to win any game with having 5 turnovers. There was a point to this game where I thought, okay, you know what? It's 3-13. The Raiders have the ball going into half. We score. We're right back into this game. And we get down to like the 30-yard line, and then I think Derek Carr gets sacked, and he fumbles the ball. Derek Carr, by himself, had 3 turnovers. You're not going to win games that way. Like, it's not going to happen. Here's the thing, though, right? This was a wake-up call for the Raiders, right? A lot of people call it a quote-unquote trap game, which it is, right? It kind of is. But this game right here was the one game the Raiders had to really get ahead when it comes to like the wild card seeding. At this point, we're kind of playing from behind. Now, obviously, we're still right in it, right? We win a couple more games. We're in the playoffs, especially a couple of big games, right? We have the Colts still, and if we beat the Colts, we have the Dolphins. We should be able to win both of those games, but I believe this Falcons game was the one game that the Raiders could still lose throughout the rest of their games. Now, obviously, they can still lose against the Dolphins. They can lose against any team, right? But we should be able to beat the Dolphins, and that Colts game is going to be absolutely huge for the Raiders to win. But if we play the same way we played like today, we're not going to win, right? 5 turnovers is too many turnovers. Statistically, we weren't much different than the Falcons. Like, this game was the 43-6. The score did not represent how the game actually went. In my opinion, I think the Raiders actually played really good. Like, if we didn't have turnovers, if we had 0 turnovers instead of having those 5 turnovers, this would have been a really close game. All right. You think about when the turnovers kind of came, it's unfortunate. It's really, really unfortunate. And it really does suck that the Raiders lost this game. But we do have the Jets coming up next week, and that should be a winnable game. I think they're 0-11, if my memory is correct. But we should still not take that team lightly, right? Last year, they were a pretty crappy team, and they came in and they beat the crap out of the Raiders, right? I think it was 33-6 last year. So we should not take them lightly because it's going to be the biggest game of the season. Like, after you lose the last 2 games the way we lost, this next game is going to be huge. And, I see a lot of people saying, we should move on from Carr or whatever. And obviously, I don't think we should. I think even though Derek Carr was one of the main reasons as to why we lost this game, right? DC and the offense in general. Some people say the play calling. We're going to bounce back, right? We absolutely will bounce back. That Kansas City Chiefs game, like, we left it all out there and we lost. But even then, had we even won that game, I think we still would have came into this game kind of flat, right? In which we did. But the defense played pretty well, right? I mean, if you don't consider the fact that our offense turned the ball over and gave them 16 to 23 points, right? If you don't consider that our offense gave away points, the game would have been closer, and the defense did not play that bad, right? And obviously towards the end, it kind of got away from us. But all those turnovers in the first half and in the third quarter, and our defense held them to field goals, right? When they could have easily scored more points, we still held them to field goals. With all that being stated, we have to not turn the ball over. I think I saw a statistic coming into this game, like the 5 games before, we had 3 total turnovers, and then in this one game, we had 5 total turnovers. Our team is not meant to turn the ball over 3, 4, 5 times and expect to win a game. Like, our defense is not going to score touchdowns, right? That's not what our defense is going to do. Again, statistically looking at it, when you look at the box score, really no one on this team really played well. Like Hunter Renfrow, he had a pretty good game, but outside of him, statistically speaking, everyone else sucked, right? Josh Jacobs, 7 carries, 27 yards. He had that fumble on that long run. There's so many parts to this game that, like, I can't even go back and really think about every single of different things. But let's talk a little bit about how I feel like the Raiders kind of got screwed in the sense as well. And we'll start with the Josh Jacobs penalty first. There was a play where Josh Jacobs trucked, I think his name is Denard of the Falcons. No, I think number 37. Josh Jacobs ran him over, and Josh Jacobs did lead with his helmet, and that is a penalty. However, that specific play right there happens all the time in the NFL. Like, I see other running backs put their head down and truck people all the time. But why is it that Josh Jacobs has now been called twice for that exact penalty? And I'll go back, right? I don't have the numbers right now, but I will go back and I will find out exactly how many times that penalty has been called in the NFL on running backs, because I see it all the time, right? Like, I was watching a game literally on Thursday where the running back put his head down, led with his helmet, and the running back initiated the helmet-to-helmet contact. It wasn't called. So why is it being called on Josh Jacobs, right? That play that Josh Jacobs got that penalty, that was a first down, and the drive was going, right? That penalty forced us to go back 15 yards, and we ended up punting on that drive. We ended up not getting anything out of it. Take it a step further, and let's get into a different scenario. There was a point where Henry Ruggs caught a nice deep pass. I think he jumped up on that 4th down play, and he got us to the 3-yard line. I think on the first play of the drive, I think we get stuffed, and then on the 2nd down, Colton Miller gets a penalty, right? That penalty puts us back 10 yards. And then Brandon Parker gets a penalty, and that puts us back 10 yards. That drive got killed from penalties, right? And Colton Miller's hold was not a hold in my opinion. Like, I think that could have easily been let go of. Brandon Parker's penalty definitely was a penalty, right? You can't hit someone on their face mask. So considering that Josh Jacobs penalty, considering those 2 penalties, from the 3-yard line, we end up at like the 20, and then we had to settle for a field goal, right? And then a couple drives later, we had them stopped, and Nevin Lawson gets called for a face mask on a interception. And then they go down and they score. I think they scored a touchdown on that drive. And then there's another penalty where Isaiah Johnson on 3rd down, I think 3rd and 6. Was it a penalty? Maybe, right? But those penalties are oftentimes not called. And these things really frustrated me because over and over and over again, we were getting penalized. And I feel like the referees could have easily let some of these go. It's really unfortunate, right? It's really, really, really unfortunate. Again, 43-6. I don't think the score was 43-6. I think it should have been a lot closer. Obviously, the score is what the score is, and you can't change it. But these penalties, man, 11 for 141 is way too many penalties, and you will not win games that way. Running the ball, we had 40 yards. They had 125 yards. And, if you can't stop the run, you're not going to be able to win. 179 yards for Matt Ryan. So you guys know that it's not like they were running the ball a ton, right? It's crazy, man. It's crazy. No Julio Jones, no Todd Gurley. Calvin Ridley was banged up as well. It's just crazy. Like, it's really, really crazy. And it blows my mind how we should have easily been able to win this game. Not easily isn't the right word, but we should have been able to win this game. There were so many times where, like, we fumbled, we shoot ourselves in the foot and we kick field goal. And at the same time, it's like 13-3, and we're at like the 30-yard line, about to score a touchdown, and then we fumble, right? At one point, it was a 20-point game, and even though it didn't look great, there were like 8 minutes left. All we had to do was go downfield, score a touchdown, and instead of a 20-point game, it's now a 13-point game. And there's still like 4 minutes left in the third quarter. So there were so many opportunities out there. And it is what it is, right? We got our asses beat, and we came out flat in this game. The defense, again, I'll say it over and over again. Our defense is not a good defense, right? So the game we got out of our defense, right, to at least keep the offense in it, right? At one point, we're, with like in the third quarter with 2 minutes left, we're down still by only 3 possessions, right? And for our defense to at least keep us in the game as long as they did, hats off to that defense. And to consider the fact that our offense put them in so many negative situations with those fumbles, the interception, pick sixes. Look at all the different times our offense let this defense down. But at the end of the day, our defense didn't do anything to help the offense, vice versa. Neither of them really helped each other. And we got our asses kicked, right? I'm looking forward to next week. It does suck because this game right here was a game that we should have stepped up and we should have played better, but we didn't. But looking into next week, right, we have the Jets, and I don't know who the hell is their quarterback. I don't know if it's Mike Glennon. I don't know if it's Sam Darnold. I don't know who their quarterback is, right? But we have to go into that Jets game, and we have to whoop the Jets' ass, because if we don't score 40 points against the Jets, we're not going to win, right? Because Jets will end up scoring a bunch of points on us. Even last year when we played the Jets, I thought that we were going to go in there, we're going to beat them badly, or at least, win by 2-3 touchdowns. And that was not the case. And I don't think our team is going to do that against the Jets again. This Jets team isn't a whole lot different from the team last year, right? Minus Jamal Adams. The rest of the players are pretty much the same, and they've improved their offensive line. So it's not going to be a walk in the park, but I think the Raiders can still win. And again, right now we are 6-5, right? 7-5 looks so much better than 6-6. Last week the media was asking the Raiders, we're 6-4, just as we were last year, and the same thing I heard over and over by the players and the coaches were how this 6-4 team is different because we're better, right? We have that chemistry. We've been playing together, and all this other crap, and we got our asses kicked. And this is not the 6-4 team I thought we were. It sucks, man. It really, really sucks. And I am gonna go back and watch this video. One of the things that really, really sucks about getting hardcore into the film and really watching the film is watching it when you get your ass kicked, because it is not fun to watch. But again, there were definitely some positives, right? Like, our defense did step up. Now, obviously, we didn't have Cleveland Farrell, which did suck. We didn't have any of the newly signed defensive ends. But I think going into next week, I think those guys will be back, and I think we will be better, and I think we will win. I know it's hard to enjoy this video. I know it's hard to enjoy anything right now because the Raiders get their ass kicked, and I know a lot of you guys are just like me, where losses impact your mood, right? Try enjoying it, and let's see what the Raiders do. Let's listen in on how they're going to fix some of their issues. I plan to have at least 1 or 2 film breakdowns for you guys, as well as episode 21 of the Raiders pod. I want you guys to make sure to hit that thumbs up button, because I see 155 people on right now. That means I should have at least 155 likes. Make sure to like, make sure to comment. Let me know what you guys think. And I will see you guys next time with another video.